Hello, and welcome to the Heart of Dentistry podcast. We're looking forward to bringing you the tools that will be so helpful in making your career full of heart and fulfillment. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Heart of Dentistry podcast. We are thrilled to have the opportunity to take some of the ache out and put the heart back into what we do. I'm Brandi Hooker-Evans, and this is Jamie Marbo-Nichols. Good morning, Jamie.
Hello. Good morning. I'm so excited for our guest again. He's a three-peat. This is our first three-peat that we've had. So pretty excited about that. We have Dr. Alan Stern with us, all the way from Jersey. We are thrilled for today's topic. We talk about some of the analogies that we have in our everyday life and our work environment in dentistry. You have brought up something that we felt, Brandi and I both, is powerful information. And we would like you to talk about the things that you've learned in the gym and your wellness as a whole, and how that you have felt that that's related to you in the dental world. So I'm going to let you just take it from here.
Thanks, Jamie. Thanks, Brandi. It's just, I can't tell you how much it means to me to be a three-peater here and to really have you value what I have to say. It is an honor and privilege that I do not take lightly. Thank you. I am so grateful. So here I am. I am 35 pounds lighter than I was 13 years ago. My waist is 4 inches smaller, and my shirt's actually buttoned at the collar. And, you know,
you might have one since then.
What's that?
I hope you would have bought new shirts since then.
I am stubborn, okay? I've retired, but I'm still a dentist. I'm still stubborn at heart. But you know, I learned in dental school, they taught us that the average adult gains 1 to 2 pounds a year over their lives. And I saw that happening to me. Oh my goodness. And I had to unlearn some old habits and retrain to become better at what I do. Sound familiar? So I did not get, and I am not in perfect shape. I'm in very good shape, and that's very important to know. I'm good, but there are still things I need to work on. But I got help. First of all, I saw my life, my physical life spiraling out of control. And I knew that what I was doing was not working. So I didn't see it. I'm a doctor, right? I know I'm supposed to know everything. I don't. I didn't know everything about nutrition. I didn't know everything about exercise science. So I engaged trainers and nutritionists. And I'm doing things at my age now. I am 10 years old. And I'm doing things with people younger than Brandi, younger than my children. And I'm keeping up.
Wow.
But how do we do this? We have to do it right. I mean, one of the things I learned from the great Dr. Warren Johnson, who was my mentor in the Tucker Gold Study Club, Warren said, every step needs to be right. It needs to be your best. Don't shortcut anything. And then you'll know that what you delivered is your very best work. And Coach Tom and Coach Don, who helped me in my physical endeavors, also tell me, go slow. I have 2 torn rotator cuffs and torn labrums in each shoulder, partial tears. I have a partially torn meniscus in my right knee. And the medical doctors told me I would never squat, lunge, or lift over my head again. Guess what I did this morning in the gym? Squats, lunges, and overhead lifting. But here's the difference. I do it slowly, making sure my form is absolutely spot on so I don't put strain on the torn parts of my body, that I strengthen the other parts of my body. I use light weights. I'm not ready for heavy weights yet. I may not ever be, and that's okay. But I'm doing it to good form to my best effort, my most perfect effort.
Alan, I think that as you're like saying that, my whole light bulb in my head is going off, because that's exactly how it is in the hygiene room. And I want to hear about the dentistry part. But if in my room, we don't do every single step of assessment to the best of the ability, then we cannot take care of the disease that's present in the patient, and the patient can't pick what care they need. So just like you taking care and being able to do those, quote, medically impossible things, squats, lunges, and lifting over your head, it's because you set it up correctly and you strengthened and you educated yourself on the parts that needed those items so that you could move forward.
And to both of your points, not only that, but how do we feel at the end of a procedure? How do we feel if we have sped up and shortcutted? If you don't lose sleep at night, you're going to have that doubt in the back of your head. You're going to have your heart in your throat if you prep the crown and, yeah, we'll get by with this. I'm in a hurry. Your heart's going to be in your throat when you go to deliver that crown and if you take post-op x-rays, or if you take them 6 months later, you're going to get that thing in your throat. So it is very, very important to do things correctly for the patient and for yourself. And for the phone call that I'm not going to answer right now. So, at the end of a workout, if I've done everything properly, I feel great. But if I push too hard and in improper form, I'm going to get hurt. And I'm going to be achy. I'm going to be sore. And I'm going to go into the next workout with a whole lot of doubt. So it does tie into dentistry, that we want to do things to our very, very best every single step of the way. And now, Jamie, we brought up the point offline, and it's a very valid point. We're talking pie in the sky here. We're talking great results. We're talking, man, take your time, best effort, and all that other stuff. But I got to make a living. And the owner's got to pay the overhead. And the associates got to pay the student loans. And the hygienist has to feed the family. And the administrator is under pressure to keep the books in the black. Oh, my God. Now what do we do?
No more slow and steady.
Yeah, now we've got to start thinking in terms of the real world. But I don't think we need to abandon our principles here. Look, there are some things that are reasonable and some things that are not in the practice, business, finance world. And I think it is unfair to expect a recent grad, a 2023 grad, to do a crowd prep complete in 30 to 40 minutes. It can't happen. It just can't happen. And it is also unfair for somebody to be an associate in an office and to take 2.5 hours for a class 1 composite, an occlusal composite. We have to strike that balance, and here's where we really need to think. I think we need to talk vulnerability. When I went into the classes with Don and Tom, I told them about my injuries, and they modified my training. I used TRX bands to pull me up when I started lunging and squatting. And I think we need to invest in our teammates into additional training if they're not there yet. Sometimes it's time. The first-year associate was going to need more time to prep anything. That's just harsh, stark reality, or everybody's going to get into trouble. Right? The patient's not going to get a great result. The practice is going to get 1-star reviews, and nobody wins. But we have to invest in our people. UPS invests tons of money in their trucks to keep them going. Our most precious resource is our people. Associates, hygienists, assistants, admins. Let's invest in them with I'm going to use the word because I don't have a better word, but knowing that we're going to get an ROI.
Right. I think it's still a business at the end of the day.
Yeah. So there do have to be some parameters. and we have to hire smart, take our jobs, accept the right position. I think a one-year grad, if they go in and they're told they've got to do a crown prep in 40 minutes, they got some serious soul searching to do.
Yeah.
And in a fee-for-service practice, the inexperienced associate is going to have to be willing to work very hard to get some reps and really get those things right. Even in the PPO practice, I think it may be incumbent upon the associate to get some reps outside of the work environment in order to bring them up to speed. And there's no substitute for reps and experience and mentoring.
I heard on a podcast, two doctors talking, and they were saying, it kind of goes against it, but I want to get your thoughts on it. But the two gentlemen were talking about hiring and firing, for lack of a better, softer term. But they were saying to hire slowly and fire quickly. And it sounds like if you're I don't know what that 100% meant in their world, but what does that mean to you when you're talking about this process of relating the two?
Yeah, I think they have a good point, asterisk. I think we have to hire very carefully. And I think we have to accept positions very carefully, even in the paucity environment that we're in right now. And by the way, we can talk offline on this, but I think that's going to change very soon. I think there will be a shortage of positions and an abundance of people applying for jobs. That's another discussion. But I think Colin Powell put it very nicely in his book, Leadership Secrets of all people, Colin Powell. And Colin Powell said, if you've done everything you could to bring a person up to speed, if you've exhausted all means, then it is incumbent upon you to let that person go. Because the dental practice is bigger than you are. It's bigger than the owner. It's bigger than anybody in there. And it really is a disservice to the practice to have somebody who cannot carry their load. So yes, we do have to let people go who are not getting it done. However, we do know that human resources are very, very precious, and training somebody is incredibly aggravating and expensive. So, it's a measure twice, cut once. So you really have to put that person through a good, thorough interview process. And I don't believe in holding people accountable, by the way. I don't like that phrase. I like, how can we support you to get this done now that you understand what your job is? And if you have exhausted all means of support for this person and they just can't do it, then you know what, Brandi? You're a great individual and you're a great hygienist, and we're very fond of you here. But it's just not working in the practice, and I think you understand that. And how can I help you find another position? Let's transition you so that we could part here, friends. Will this work all the time? No. But if we do it that way with the utmost of kindness and the least nastiness possible, then at least we in our hearts know that we've done our best. And as an associate or a team member also, hey, Dr. Allen, I've been here for a year and I'm just not comfortable with your mindset and with the philosophy of this practice. I can't do it. I can't be myself here. And I'd like to let you know that I'm going to look for another job, and I'll stay as long as I can to help you train your replacement.
I like that. I like that it can go both ways.
Yeah, and it's still, the reality is still the reality. You're fired, I quit. That's still the reality. But we could make the truth palatable, and we can make the exit as nice as possible. And that way we feel better. We also establish ourselves as not nasty people. And I'm sorry that it's coming out in my book, my second book also, the phrase business is business. I call BS on that. Business is personal. If you've invested training, school, debt, CE, and 8 hours a day of heart and soul in dentistry, business is personal. And I think we have to handle it that way. We have to practice as human beings.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, we have to first start with a rock solid foundation. We have to get the plan that is repeatable, that works, and then we have to practice that with ongoing evaluation of ourselves and our teammates.
Mm-hmm.
And then if and when it goes sour, because I think all three of us have had the opportunity to be part of an exit, whether it was us or another member of the team, we have to do it with dignity and kindness and love and respect for each human that we interact with, knowing that whether or not we work together in the same office, we're still part of the same community and we'd like to be of service to everyone. So
yes,
I think that's a pretty powerful, straight and narrow line of, hey, how do we do this? Oh, well.
Yeah.
Great job to move forward.
Paul Goodman says it very nicely. Paul has an acronym for everything. JBN, just be nice.
Yeah.
And we could do things nice. I mean, there is nothing here. No one is, there have been tragedies in dental offices where people have been shot and killed or physically or in other ways assaulted. We can't be nice in those situations. That doesn't call for nice. But what does call for nice is when we have a philosophical parting of the ways, or if we have an inability to live to the expectation or the philosophy or the attitude or culture of a practice. If we don't fit, we don't fit. That doesn't mean we're bad and they're good. That doesn't mean that at all. We're just different.
Yep. And sometimes the bus heads in a different direction, and the seat that you were on in the first place isn't the same seat you want to be on now, and that's okay.
Yep,
that's
it happened. It happened to me years ago when I went down to Pankey and I started to change philosophy, and I got some pretty nasty pushback.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Being a hygiene consultant going in, I get pushback all the time about changing. What you want? I've been riding this bike this way for 100 years, and now you want me to ride it differently? I get it. Yeah.
But unfortunately, that situation, the world's changing. And we've got to change, but keep our principles intact.
Exactly. Well, thank you for joining us again. Honestly, Alan, you are a delight.
I'm so deeply goosebumped and honored to be with the likes of you two brilliant people, and any opportunity we get to interact online or offline, I would cherish.
Let's do it, and we'll have you back on the Heart of Dentistry. Everyone, thank you for joining in and being part of such a brilliant community. We are honored to be on your team, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time on the Heart of Dentistry.